Hello, party people of the world. What's up, everybody? It's been a grip. You're here with...
How's it going?
Oh, thanks for that.
How's it going, everyone?
You're here with DannyVNCR and Red Llama, a.k.a. Evan Halfmann. Evan, how's it going, buddy?
Oh, doing pretty good. I'm, running on fumes, that kind of thing. But, that's just the name of the game, the podcast industry.
Yeah, Evan's real sleepy today. Most people have their wisdom teeth taken out. He actually had an elective surgery to have extra wisdom teeth put in today. So he's pretty tired, pretty sore. So we're gonna try and not hold him too much. We're gonna go ahead.
Not a wise move.
What?
Get it?
No. So we're today is January 23rd. Today is the day, January 23rd of 2019, first podcast of the year. Evan, what's our genre today? What do you think?
Our genre today is math rock.
Math rock. Math and math looking rock. We're going to waste no time getting into our first artist, Covet.
So I just got to say, if you say math rock in like the right way, it sounds like a fantasy, like a Lord of the Rings kind of like math rock. The ancient city of math rock.
I did say that Evan was high on nitrous, I think. Covet's album Effloris. I hope I'm saying it right. The song Shibuya. Let's go. Just to go on record, we might have a little bit of latency because the internet is slow as fuck today. But we're still doing it. We're still here for the people.
Yeah.
Yes. Math rock. And the other of the 9 realms. By the 9s. God damn it. You got that high fantasy idea stuck in my head now.
Which I must say, the math rock thing is like, I like math rock. I do like math rock a lot, and it kind of is a bummer that I have to do an enjoyable.
What do you mean?
And enjoy what?
You do math rock?
I like math rock.
Oh, I thought you said you do it.
I do like math rock a lot, but it's a bummer that I have to do this episode.
I see.
On so sleepy.
Such a sleepy boy.
And when I say running on fumes, I mean little sleep. I don't mean I huffed fumes and like I'm high. So I don't know where I was going with that. Anyways, what's this? Well, God, now see, I'm asking you what the band's called. That's
called Covet.
Covet. That's right. With
from California, from Yvette Young. Yes.
Yvette Young. Who's obviously she's very popular.
Yes.
Very well known within her realm.
I am remiss to say that I discovered. Well, actually, that's not true. I did not discover Covet by knowing Yvette Young, but I have been a fan of Yvette's for a while, following her on YouTube and such, and then found out she has a band while surfing through Bandcamp correctly, as we are known to do, and felt compelled to include it because of my fandom, I will say. So, yes, big fan of Yvette's. What's up, Yvette, if you're listening to this?
I feel like she just does listen to random podcasts like in the middle of the night.
Maybe. I hope so.
Anyhow.
Maybe she'd want to come by sometime and listen to, I don't know, fucking doom metal or something. That'd be cool. Hit me up. Let me know. We'll make an exception. We usually don't have guests on, but hey.
Yeah. So her band is nice. I remember originally listening to this and working out what bands we wanted for the list and stuff. And
so you're saying you were working out to this, like you're in the gym listening to this. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And I remember saying that. Well, I remember saying this regarding a couple of bands we were listening to, but I think this band makes me think of what I would like, or what I'd prefer Scale the Summit to kind of sound like.
Interesting.
Which I know that, which I mean you took as like something that I shouldn't say, and I mean it doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean it's apples and oranges. They're definitely different styles completely, but it just I like that like noodly. I feel like this has like that noodly like technical style, but I feel like it's just like really musical in the way that I like, and I don't know, I it's hard to say that without sounding like I'm just straight bad mouthing Scale the Summit. I mean there's nothing, I don't have a problem with the band. I like that band. They have great records and stuff, but I maybe it's like the metal aspect that puts me off a little bit, whereas this is just like rock. I mean, and like the guitar, listen to the guitar tones. I mean, they're like clean. I love that. It's like,
I feel like Scale the Summit is a much like this is a term that is tough to say without people taking the wrong way, but I feel like Scale the Summit is a much tighter sound, and I don't mean that at all to say that it is better, it is more professionally composed or anything else, but I just feel it's more like to the point, and I actually like this more because it feels more
loose.
free.
Yeah, I mean, personally speaking for myself, I come from that loose school.
Yeah, you do. Which is
school of thought.
It's funny because I don't. I'm very like I was originally trained musically classically on woodwind instruments. I played saxophone for a while. For anyone who cares, I've played many instruments, but saxophone was, well, not technically my first. My first instrument, believe it or not, was a flute, but it did not take me long to go to saxophone. Anyways, I was trained in symphonic formats, and then jazz, and then so on and so forth. So while jazz is certainly not tight by any means, my start into the music world was very tight, and just kind of has been. That's okay. I like loose a lot. I think it's more whimsical and fun to me than tight music really can ever be. Like I'd much rather listen to this any day over a different progressive style like that's tight, say like Dream Theater.
Which is interesting because I feel like I've never like actually seen any videos. I don't really follow this person on YouTube where I know she's very popular.
I'll watch some after this.
But I'm sure that that her obviously her technique sounds very, very clean, and I feel like when she performs live, it's probably very like the muscle memory it's very tight to her, but like it comes off as sounding like loose and free, which is pretty cool. And I feel like,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I feel like good math rock should really be that way. Like,
absolutely, it shouldn't be tight. I feel like if math rock did feel very tight, it would feel very sterile and boring. I was gonna say her style reminds me of like a mix between like Khaki King and Guthrie Govan, which are two remarkably different guitarists, but yeah. Evan, what are your feelings on math rock in general?
Math rock in general?
In general, in General Sherman.
General Sherman.
That's a call forward. We're that meta.
My thoughts on math rock.
Your thoughts on math rock?
Math rock.
Third of his name.
Math rock. Liam Onerson.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. William Onerson. Oh, that was good. Third of his name.
Third of his name. Baron of Math rock.
Baron of Math rock. William Onerson. Third of his name. William James Tiberius Onerson.
Tiberius.
Oh,
That's
fuck
funny.
me.
Wow,
that was funny.
I dig math rock.
Call back.
God, I don't know. You know,
Would you stop doing that?
Oh, am I making noise?
Yeah.
Me and math rock. It's not like it's not a world I've ever like really dipped that far into, and so I'm not incredibly knowledgeable about a lot of
certainly
bands.
I'm not either.
And I think historically I've probably listened more to the and indulged myself in the math or like the metal side of it, so like the Dillinger,
Right.
and like, you know, Converge somewhat, I guess.
I would definitely say Converge is in like their math territory.
And then what's it?
In their own right.
The number 12 looks like you, or whatever.
Sure. The Fall of Troy. That was the other thing, the one I was going to think of.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love The Fall of Troy.
Which is interesting because, yeah, like, I've always thought of them as just, like, straight post-hardcore, but they definitely do, like, in retrospect, like, it's very mathy, and it's, like, kind of cool because, like, they trace the origin of that a very specific sound where emo, like, met with post-hardcore and math rock.
Yes.
That Midwest emo sound, or whatever you will.
I remember when a friend of mine, I had showed him our music, Oppress, for the first time. He's like, this reminds me a lot of The Fall of Troy. And I fucking I despise when I show somebody anything I've done and they're like, do you know what this reminds me of? I'm like, whatever you're about to say, shut it down. I don't want to hear it. But that did make me happy.
That's flattering.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
Comment.
I thought now seemed like a good time to let the music breathe, since we've had a really bad habit of not doing that. I think this is our only instrumental pick of the day too, oddly. Which is something I typically try to veer away from, but at the same time, like, if the music is good enough as an instrumental, there's no reason to not include it simply because it's instrumental. I think vocals add a lot to music, but they're also not inherently necessary. And this is one of the cases where, like, it certainly does not need it.
Yeah, and I'm definitely I feel like I'm the kind of guy who, like, needs a vocal. Like, the vocals to me are, like, probably, like, the hallmark of any music that I really, really deeply enjoy.
Sure.
You know, but of course that's just my own preference. So something like this, which I really like, but it just, of course I could sit here and say, well, there's something missing. Well, yeah, vocals. It's just, I
don't know if I agree with that.
Well,
like, I mean,
but,
to
but
some
that's
degree,
what I'm saying.
sure,
I'm saying, like, for me, like, it's just, and it's not to say, like, oh, they should add vocals and then it would be better. But no, it's just like, it works really well without vocals, and obviously it's written without vocals, and that's the way it's meant to be, and it's the way the artist created it, and that's what it comes down to, of course. But it's just, you know, there's just that's just keeping it from being something that I really love.
Right.
I feel like that's just always kind of been the case for me. It's like, if something's instrumental, I can really like it, and I can even probably really love it, but I'm hard pressed to, like, include it among my favorite things of all time.
Oh, I don't know how I didn't mention this. This is my pick of the week. Yeah. The other two artists, do not get me wrong, are phenomenal artists. But this just happens to be my pick of the week. That being said, Evan. You ready to move on to our next artist?
By God, let's just do it.
All right. See you back in a mo.
Die trying.
All right, so we're back with the band Tricot and the album 3, the song Tokyo Vampire Hotel. So this artist I found, reviewing their page, I found very interesting in that typically when you... Jesus H, this is taking forever. Typically when you want to know something about the band, you will look over in their little description and it'll say, hey, so here's some fun things about the guitarist and this, that, and whatever. This is actually really starting to agitate me. I'm going to try and... there we go. Look at that. We got her. But this is not the band's page. The band doesn't have a page, at least that I've seen. This is the record label's page, as you can see. Top Shelf Records out of San Diego, California. But if you listen real carefully, you'll notice that's not English. The artists are Japanese. They hail from, let's see, because I pulled it up. Look at that. Tricot is a Japanese all-female alt-rock band formed in Kyoto, Japan. Go figure. It does kind of disturb me that I had to actually go to the record label's page to find out anything about the band. But I guess it is what it is. Music's sick though.
The music is great. I love the music.
I love the music. The music is great. The music, I love it.
You know, it's something I oh my God, sorry.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Stop with that.
Deliberately have to think. It's like always, front in my mind. Jesus Christ, I'm tripping over my words so bad. It's always in the front of my mind whenever we review a Japanese band. I try not to fetishize their Japanese-ness.
Japanese culture is just fucking fascinating.
I'm extremely fascinated with Japanese culture, and I love the Japanese, and I think the Japanese are to thank.
The great Japanese. I love the Japanese.
They are to thank for an incredible amount of beautiful art and amazing contributions to the arts. But there are parts of me that feel like I don't want to review them in such a way that makes it sound like I'm fetishizing their otherness, or however you will. Which I probably don't come off that way. I'd hope I don't. But I guess maybe that whole disclaimer was just a preface for just me getting real nerdy with how
come on, you.
How much I like that sound.
What the hell is happening?
It's just taking a break. It's just taking a little break.
Hold on. I'm going to reload this. We're going to come right back. Boy, don't you just love when things don't work the way they're supposed to? Alright, so track 2. Wabi Sabi. The titular Wabi Sabi. No, that's not right. Wait a minute. No, Wabi Sabi by Tricot. Sorry, I was getting really frustrated there. There was a good 5 minutes of trying to fucks around with getting things to work. But hey, we're back.
Hi.
Still hanging in there, buddy?
Mm-hmm.
Jaw doesn't hurt too much. Vicodin's not putting you to sleep yet. I wonder how many people are going to think like it's actually serious. I was like, no, Evan actually had wisdom teeth put in. I hope before that moment there is at least one person.
Yeah, I haven't had them removed yet, so.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I had mine taken out fucking 9 years ago. 9 years ago. Which is funny because, speaking of 9 years ago, very specific something that happened 9 years ago kind of came to a head last night. And I don't want to talk about it on the podcast, but I do want to talk about it when it's over. Yes, it's interesting. You shall see. It'll be an interesting thing. I'm at a loss for words. My brain is like shit pudding right now. I'm gonna let the music speak for itself while I regather my thoughts. Maybe put some eye drops in. Yeah, so you're speaking about fetishizing the Japanese. I think any reasonable person could look at you and everything that you've demonstrated and say, obviously that's what he does. Obviously. No, I'm kidding. I might be going to Japan. That'd be a cool thing. Thinking about going this year. If anybody is in Japan and they think, that big ogre-ish looking motherfucker, it'd be cool to hang out with him. I like his opinions on some genres of music. Hit me up, Scooter. I'm thinking about going in midsummer if I go. But let me know if there's any cool shit to do in Japan, because I've never been to Japan. I don't know anything about Japan.
Yes.
Yes. Indeed. Yeah. I don't know. My big thing is like, it's just, I want to experience such a different part of the world. You know what I mean? Because there's so many things that are similar between like Western and Eastern cultures for sure, but I don't know. I just want to experience something genuinely new. I'm sick of I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna go to a different country for a little while. It's like, all right, cool. Where are you going? Canada. And Canada's cool. Don't get me wrong. I love Canada, in fact, but it's just way too similar.
Well, yeah. I think in the Pacific Northwest here, people are
Greater Cascadia.
And I guess for that matter, like any person who lives in the United States on the very northern part. So if you live on the East Coast too, like up in New England or up in New York.
I think New York is in New England.
Well, yeah, I know.
Right.
But, if Canada's right there, I think Canada is as familiar to us who live so close as France is to the UK or to another country in Europe. It's just like
it's just there, yeah.
It's just like we're going to France this year. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of, I'm also going to be going to New York this year.
Check it out.
Yeah, I will, in fact, definitely be going to New York from the 6th to the 12th, I think. So if anybody's in New York and they want to say hey, let me know. I'll be upstate for the most part, but I'll be dipping into the NYC. Yeah, be a cool thing.
And I'm just gonna stay home.
Yeah, living that dad life.
Unfortunately, did you read my hat?
No, I would never stare at your hat without permission. Your eyes are down there, Evan. That's not kind. Your eyes?
Where are my eyes?
My eyes! Where are my eyes? I had to step away from the microphone for that one.
Like Tay-Zonday.
What?
I had to step away from the microphone like Tay-Zonday.
Oh, yeah, when he breathes. Yeah. I was like, can Tay-Zonday not find his eyes? What are you talking about?
Well, he did lose his eyes for a couple of years, I think.
Chocolate rain, lost my eyes, now I can see again.
Oh, man. Let's see.
Good God. That's a classic meme right there.
Yeah, classic. Oh, yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
Anime is really cool.
Would you like to expand on that?
Well,
What the fuck you're talking about?
I'm sitting here with my eyes closed, and I'm listening to this music, and it makes me feel like I'm watching like a really, really quality anime, like the intro or something.
Which one does it make you think of, Evan?
Oh, you know, honestly, nothing in particular. Just like an anime, like a modern anime with like maybe there's like some mechs in there, and then maybe there's like some like teenage romance, that kind of thing.
Some high school.
Yeah, and then there's probably like a crab monster somewhere in there, kind of like One Punch Man.
Right. That's definitely what I thought of when you said crab monster. One Punch Man is such a fucking great anime. Like, I get that's an extremely popular anime, but I still honestly feel like it's pretty underrated. In that, like, it's just so it's so hyperbolically exaggerative of shonen anime that it kind of like became its own entire separate entity.
And the whole season 2 coming out
this year.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Mob Psycho 100 by the same creator?
No.
It's good. It's real good. You should. It's good.
It's very interesting.
I have Verve, VRV, for those who don't know. If Verve wants to sponsor this podcast, by all means, by the way.
We can just turn it into an anime podcast. We can ditch music entirely.
Yeah, fuck music. I'm all about Dragon Ball Super. I'm all about Mondo Media. I'm all about Nickelodeon Rewind, Shudder, Rooster Teeth, and all of the other channels. Crunchyroll, of course. What am I thinking? All of the other wonderful channels by the great people at Verve.
There are also many services I like, such as I love audiobooks. I love Lumosity. I love Headspace. Headspace is a great service.
What is Headspace?
What is Headspace?
What is Headspace?
It's like a meditation app.
Okay.
So
good talk.
Sponsor me. Sponsor me? Sponsor me or fight me. Sponsor me or debate me. And an open
also,
platform.
Bigfoot Java. I'm still waiting on a fucking... Yeah, that was 2 years ago that I told Bigfoot Java. I was like, hey, man, I'd love an endorsement.
Uber Jobber?
Uber Jobber. I would love a mathical maca. A matcha. Oh my god. I was crying. That was making me laugh so hard.
Sponsored content would be cool. Hey, man.
That would be dope. I have no problem with selling out to things that I really like.
You know, selling out is one thing, but like just saying, having a 30-second spot where you talk about something that you actually like, and then you think that other people might actually like.
Woodinville whiskey.
It's
Woodinville whiskey. It's real good whiskey. You've heard it here again.
You heard it here.
When I want corn, but I want it aged in a barrel for many, many years, I go to Woodinville Whiskey. My friends at Woodinville Whiskey. I say John, because that's a generic man's name. Give me some of that old-ass corn juice.
Oh, give me the rancid corn juice.
Give me that just fermented corn dripping.
Mm-hmm.
I want it inside me. I want to feel it in my blood. I want to feel it in my brain and in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Someday I hope this. You know, it's funny to me that I made like a little safe for work truncated version of the last one. I don't know if I shared this with you, of the last little inadvertent advertisement we did for Woodinville Whiskey. I posted it on Facebook and they actually saw it and liked it. Isn't that crazy? So maybe someday. That'd be cool. I like Woodinville Whiskey. Hell, I have some within arm's reach. But I'm not drinking it, and I'll tell you why. Because they're not sponsoring me too.
Oh.
Just saying.
Okay.
Just saying.
Part of me wants to say that this band reminds me of Boris a little bit, but I feel like they don't really have much of a similarity, and I'm afraid that I'll only be saying that because they're both Japanese bands. But I think there probably are some similarities. It's just obviously Boris has a strong metal aspect.
Right.
I love Boris, so I just kind of wanted to spit that out there.
Hey, while we're on the, as cool as that is, while we're on the sponsored content bit, can I just say real quick, for a relaxing time, make it Suntory time.
Oh my god, yes. I love Lost in Translation so much.
I just
it's
saw
my favorite movie
for the first time.
Oh, it's my favorite movie of all time.
I know it is.
Let it be known. If there's no other fucking... If everything else I say in this goddamn podcast has been nonsense, which it has been, and if the rest of what I say will be nonsense,
which it
then
will be,
let the only thing that is clear be that I love Lost in Translation, and it's my favorite movie of all time, and it is. Sponsor me. No, I'm just joking. No,
sponsor
for real,
me,
though.
Sofia Coppola.
Yeah, for real though. It's my favorite movie ever. It's a beautiful, beautiful movie. Maybe that's honestly part of my fetishism for
Japanese
Japan
culture.
Because of course that movie is like a love letter to Tokyo.
True.
And the greater Tokyo area, I suppose, because it does take place in several other parts.
Does it?
Of Japan. But it's really just
it does. You're right.
And they're like vignettes. They're like short scenes, really. They're not like... pretty much Tokyo is like the setting.
Right.
But that's just such a beautiful movie, and I think shout out to the Coppola family for their for generations of directorial success.
Sweet dude.
Yes.
Happy for you. Happy for all of you. That being said, Evan.
Because Apocalypse Now just happens to be another favorite movie of mine. So, there's that. Boom. Drop the bombshell.
Do you want to make out?
Okay.
All right. Well, while we're getting all wet and sticky, let's go ahead and move on to our third artist, and we'll be back in about 5 to 7 minutes, depending on how tired Evan really is. All right, people, we're back. All clean and ready to go with our third pick of the evening. This is Invalids with their Fulfillment EP, starting things off with General Sherman. See, I told you it was a call forward earlier.
Remember General Sherman?
Remember General Sherman? I remember. Yeah. So this is more of a off the wall example, I think, of what math rock is. which is very fun in its own way. Yes.
I would be inclined to agree.
Don't fucking patronize me.
Definitely the style of this band is a lot more emo.
Yes.
Than the rest of our choices, which I like.
I do too.
I mean, come on.
I'm a huge fan of. Which is funny because I was reminded when I was putting together this list, because this is my list.
This is my list.
This is my list. Shut your fucking mouth. This is my list.
My list.
Ass. But when I was putting this list together, I was looking through several bands, as I do, and I came across this band, as I do, and I was listening to it, and I thought, man, this is fucking great. This would be a great inclusion for this list. And I remembered it was a band we already covered.
Holy smokes.
I know, right? Fucking tripped me out. It was a band called Hail the Sun. We covered in our emo episode, which I thought would be a fun talking point, because I think a lot of math rock, modern math rock at least, is very heavily rooted in like emo alternative. But it's just typically more off kilter in its style. Typically done in non-traditional time signatures is pretty common.
Well, yeah, I think it's an interesting genre or synthesis of genres to sort of trace, because
tell me about it.
Because I almost feel like when math rock and emo met each other, I feel like that was via probably the emo kids who really who felt like they wanted to be a part of the emo culture and the emo music world, but they spent a lot of time by themselves, probably at home with their guitars, and like lots of practicing. And of course this partly comes from personal experience, because I used to be one hell of a noodler, and
you sure did.
I could probably prove it. Yeah. Oh, heck yeah. And so I feel like maybe that's a part of how these genres met, that like a lot of these people just like were so bored and had a lot of free time and a lot of time to be sad and listen to music, and probably had lots of time to hone their techniques. And so I think maybe that's just the top of my head analysis of maybe how these genres met, but I'm really glad they did meet, because I think it's a really cool fusion.
Yes.
A really necessary fusion.
One thing I'll say that I really, really wrestled with this list, and I don't think you get to see too much of it if you're watching the video version of this, fucking 15 years after the podcast with our luck. So many math rock bands on Bandcamp have a ton of support, like a lot of them, and it was very hard for me to find good bands that just don't. And I think that's awesome. Like as much as I try to pride myself on picking artists that have either very close to no support or a little, just a little, that was very, very difficult in this list to actually make a fulfilling list out of, and I'm very glad for that. That shows that math rock is becoming a prevailing genre, and that's great to me, because if you would have told me that 5 years ago, like, someday math rock is going to be very popular and people are going to be really into it, be like, no, it's not. You're full of shit. It'll be one of those things that it'll have a cult following, but it'll never really start getting out of that. And really makes me happy. It does my soul good to see that idea is being challenged, and that I would have been wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Another thing I find that's kind of cool, or maybe interesting to think about when I listen to this kind of music, is it's obviously very technical and lots of changes, like key changes, chord changes, time signature changes, and lots of interesting techniques going on.
Clothes changes.
That
Scenery
kind of
changes.
And and but I guess I have to wonder, like, how much like music theory and classical training is actually like a part of this technique, because I know, again from my own experience, I know the basic music theory. I don't know sheet music. I'm not classically trained at all, and I can hold my own.
Sheet music.
I can hold
a dork.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Well, I can hold my own in this genre. I think I can. I of course used to be a lot better than I am now. I'm a little rusty at that kind of thing because I kind of do something a lot different, as you may know since you heard my song the other day.
I have 2 points I want to make off of that when you're done.
But I wonder, like a band like this, like I wonder if you'd talk to the guitarists and they would be like, oh yeah, I'm classically trained, and these parts were very meticulously crafted, or if it was just like noodling, just like, oh, I was just hitting the guitar and I just did what sounded good. Because that's where I'm at. That's kind of like where I always came from. It's just like, oh, just tap there. Oh no, that doesn't sound good. What about there? Oh yeah, that sounds good. That's kind of a thing I think about too when I hear this.
Yeah, interesting. And that's another fun, like, back and forth that you, and by the way, this isn't one of the 2 things I was thinking of, but you and I are so radically different in the way that we approach writing something. Because, like, more often than not, when I hear something in my head and I think about writing it, I'll think of like an arpeggio or a chord progression and try and think, like, what would that sound like, knowing the notes in my mind and trying to put them together and get, well, I think that would sound like this. And then I'll come and finger those notes out, and if it didn't sound exactly like I thought it would, then I'll fine tune it and try and get it to exactly what it does sound like in my head. And sometimes I'll do that and it's just fucking nonsense, but while I'm fucking around, I make something that I really like. And I think that's kind of closer to what you're talking about when you're just kind of like goofing around. You're like, oh, well, that's sick. But that's like really uncommon for me, at least now. It didn't used to be, but now it's more like very, very meticulous.
Yeah.
Me personally, but I don't make this type of music. Not that I don't deeply enjoy it, but I don't make it. Evan had considered a while ago making a YouTube series where he would pretty much just noodle around on a guitar for a fair period of time.
I still think about that, yeah.
Do you remember what we had talked about calling it?
Hours of Arrhythmia.
Hours of Arrhythmia, yeah. I think that would be cool as shit.
I've thought
about doing that myself.
I would love to do that.
I think you should. You can come here and film it here.
Yeah, well, that'd be great.
Yeah, dude. Do it.
And
everybody peer pressure and guilt shame Evan into doing this thing that I really want to see him do.
And that mainly, like, I think that idea mainly comes from my love for like free improvisational music.
Fuck that too. Yeah.
And so I like the idea of just like, this by the way would be like a live stream, like even Twitch.
Shit,
even,
yeah, do that.
I would do it on Twitch, and just like whatever comes out is just whatever comes out.
You know, you can't have your dick out on Twitch, right?
Like you try to pull it out, but like
yeah, you get swatted. There's not an episode that we do of this show where Evan's penis isn't out and he's not fully erect. That's why he's so tired today.
Yeah, that's right.
It took a long time for us to get tired, or to get going. It took a long time for us to get tired. It took a long time for us to get going. It's pretty impressive. He's actually balancing a short stack of books on it. Speaking of Evan, though, Evan, your album released today, buddy. Congrats. I'd love to say that we'd celebrate, but we kind of already did.
My album came out, yes.
The album came out.
I'm excited about it. I'm, a little nervous. I think it's, I don't think it's perfect by any means, but it's,
I think you're perfect.
it's slow fire.
That one.
Slow fire, man, and it's out there, and it is what it is. It's my first album, and I'm looking towards the next one, and I can't wait to get started on it. So that's how it is.
Word. That's sick, man. We're going to include a link, of course, in the description so you people can check it out. It's fucking sick, man. My only regret about that album is that I didn't do very much on it. I wish I would have had a hand in the production or something, but hey, that's cool. Not to say that, to say like I could have done it better, or it would have been better if I had something to do with it. That's not what I mean. But I would have been involved. That would have been cool. But that's okay. That is okay.
Well, I think your horn cameo is stellar.
Thanks, bro.
So
appreciate that.
There's that. And I think a lot.
My saxophone part in that song is at par with Careless Whisper. in both tone, classicness.
At par or Birdie.
At par or Birdie. It is superior. I am a lyrical miracle, unlike George Michael.
You're a spiritual, lyrical individual.
No, that song's fucking great, though. I mean, Careless Whisper, not your trash. No, it's all good. They're all good. Everything is good. Stop fucking yawning. You're making me tired.
Taking its toll. It's really taking its toll.
Yeah.
But this is a nice part to be quiet too. I like this.
That was a great way to end that song, I think. And speaking of things that are ending, I think we're gonna end this podcast. What do you think, Evan?
Man, yeah, I think so.
I think we've had a lot of fun today. I think we've all learned a thing or two. Maybe about each other. Maybe not. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm glad I could fuck.
Glad you could fuck.
I'm glad I could.
Glad you could too, buddy.
Glad I could drag myself along through this journey with my ass intact. What? I don't know.
Just stop saying shit like that. I can only laugh so hard before it becomes a problem.
I'm sorry, English is not my first language.
My throat genuinely hurts from trying not to laugh at that. Oh. Well, good night, people. Good day. Good morrow. all of those things. Try not to smoke meth, please, if you can help it. Don't drink and drive. You know, all of those fun things that I always say. Evan, do you have anything you'd like to say to the beautiful people?
You guys are awesome. You guys are cool because you listen to our podcast, and that's awesome.
Well, Evan has a gun, so I'm gonna go.
Legit.
Bye.
Oh Lord.